Hey, by heck, it's me, Ian. And in today's video, we're looking at this. This is 1 million years BC from 1966. Yes, this is a classic, and it's produced by Hammer. Yes. I know, that's why I'm including it in my Hammer films, I'm afraid there's hardly any left now, but here we are. And this is a great film. This is a classic film. This is an adventure, fantasy, dinosaur film, you could say. And it's wonderful. It looks great. I've just watched it again, and it's fantastic. And it also brings back a lot of memories from my childhood, because this was quite an iconic film. I remember there was a cinema which was very near our school. It was, in fact, it's only about half a mile from where we lived. That's why I went to cinema quite a bit. And we used to pass by these posters. And that poster of Raquel Welch, wow, it's really, everybody would just look at that. And it made you excited. You want to go in and watch the film. And we did, eventually, yes. Yeah, parents took us, and, my dad, he said, and we went along. Yeah, fantastic. Anyhow, let's get into the film, me reminiscing again. Now, it's 100 minutes long. This is the English cut. In America, it got cut. 9 minutes were cut from it. There was censorship problems, and they just cut it like they do. But it was still very successful as well in America, as it was a massive success here. Rotten Tomatoes give it 67%. What do you expect? Yeah. I think, though, generally, it was a very popular film, and a lot of people realised as well the wonderful work done in this film to create this fantasy world. Amazing stuff. I know people say, hey, it's not proper because they want dinosaurs and humans living together. Hey, we know all that. We're not bothered. This is a film. This is the world of the film, and it's great. Now, its screenplay was, of course, Michael Carrera's. Yes, the Hammer stalwart. Also, he produced it as well. And it's based on 1 million BC, which was a 1940 film, which was a similar kind of storyline. And it was based on that. This is directed by Don Chaffee again. Don Chaffee, he directed Jason and the Argonauts, 3 Lives of Thomasina. I've talked about that one before. That's a Disney one. He also did another Hammer one, which was Creatures the World Forgot. And he did another very famous Disney one, which was 1977's Pete's Dragon. Yes. Now, I think before I get into the cast, I've got to talk about Ray Harryhausen. He was the master of these stop-go animation special effects of the creatures. And here he is in this film. And I think everybody really was totally drawn into this film. If you remember Jason and the Argonauts, and he was supreme as well in that. And here he is again in a Hammer film doing this. And I think everybody, if you was a child, you was just totally intrigued, captivated by the magic. And that's what this film has. That was, in a way, its selling point. Well, let's get into the cast. The cast is headed, of course, by Raquel Welch. I think this was only her second film, and she was asked by the studio to come and do this for Hammer go to London, do this for Hammer, which she did. Well, what a career she had. This film really made it, and it's iconic in many ways. The poster we see of her, and it certainly brought her into popular culture. Of course, was also well known in Fantastic Voyage, 1966. Same year, Fathom, 1967. Bandolero, yes, a Western, 1968. She was in The Three Musketeers, 1973, and The Four Musketeers, 1974. Other films and a lot of TV work. She is a real icon, who sadly passed away earlier this year. Then we've got John Richardson playing Chumak. He was an interesting filmography. Black Sunday, 1960, Mario Bava horror film. Fantastic. He's in that. He was in She, which was another Hammer film, 1965. And also in The Vengeance of She, 1968. He was in, now this is interesting, he was in Torso, which is a giallo slasher film Sergio Martino directed. I've got that. I think I may well have reviewed that film. It's a really good film, that. And also he was in, and I've got to say, he was in The Church. I love The Church. Oh yes, that. Oh wow, what a film! That's from 1989, and directed by Michel Soavi. Oh wow, what a film! I've reviewed that one. You know how much I love that. Anyhow, let's get on. Percy Herbert. He's also in the cast. He plays Sakana. He's very well known. We've talked a lot about him before. He was in Bridge of River Kwai, for instance, 1957. Guns of Navarone, 1963. Then he was in some Carry On films as well. He was in Carry On Jack, 1963. Carry On Clear, 1964. Carry On Cowboy, 1965. Wonderful Carry On films he was in it. He was also in, I really like it, he was in Craze. It's a mad horror film starring Jack Palance. Wonderful. He was also in The Seawolves as well, which was one of these Roger Moore adventure films of that period, 1980. Then we've got Robert Brown playing Akora. Robert Brown, well, Demons of the Mind, I'll just say that film, 1972. Hammer film, one that has a bit of controversy about that film. Then he was in The Spy Who Loved Me, 1977. That's his James Bond connection we've got. But then he carried on in James Bond, in Octopussy, 1983, A View to Kill, 1985, The Living Daylights, 1987, and License to Kill, 1989. He played M. Yes. Fantastic. Then, finally, I've just got to mention Martine Beswick. She plays like the rival of to Raquel Welch's character. There's a great fight scene as well with her. She plays Nupondi, and she was in From Russia With Love, another Bond connection, 1962. Also, she was in Thunderball, 1965. But who can ever forget her in Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde? You know, the one with Ralph Bates, 1971. What a brilliant Hammer film that was. And also, she was in later an anthology horror film called From a Whisper to a Scream from 1987, which starred Vincent Price. Hey, ain't that cool? That's wonderful. A bit more background. The music is by Mario. No, I'm not very good at it. It's Italian. Nasembana, I think. Something like that. I'm not very good at it. Italian composer. The music is great in this film. You notice it well. It's really good. He's a very well-respected Italian composer. location filming. It was filmed in the Canary Islands, in Lanzarote and Tenerife, and then, of course, a lot of there was studio work in London. Also, the Ray Harryhausen work was also done in London, all matched with the location filming. Fantastic. It looks great, doesn't it? Absolutely looks great. And just a bit of trivia, the stock footage in this film was reused. The landslide scenes in Alex's Daydream in Kubrick's Clockwork Orange from 1971. Yeah, I just throw that in. And then what's the story about? You're saying, hey, get on with it, lad. Well, yes, the story is of two tribes. There's the Rock Tribe and the Shell Tribe. Yes, it's all there. And the Rock Tribe, Tumac is in, and he gets banished. There's a lot of rivalry going on, and he ends up, anyway, he gets banished. And he comes into contact with the Shell Tribe. And he has a bit of trouble there as well, so he ends up getting banished from them. But he kind of forms this relationship with Raquel Welch's character, Lona. And it's great. That's how it's done. And then the adventures continue from that. And we get all sorts of scenes, and it's just wonderful. The landscape, everything. I'm not going to tell you the story anymore now. Give it away. But it's quite a simple story, really. But it's so well done, and the sets are amazing. And the ending, wow, what a dramatic ending we get as well. Hammer, really brilliant again. You know, what can you say about this production company? How they organise things, and it's fantastic, that ending. And that's why it was used a lot in stock footage, yeah. So over the years, I think this film has gained a lot of recognition of, for its time, what it was doing. And now a lot of people perhaps didn't know even that Hammer was involved in this. And it was re-released in 1968 and became a double bill with, yes, She from 1965. That's another great film with Ursula Andress. What a double bill that was. Wow, fantastic. And as Raquel Welch, it's an iconic picture. The photography on this film and that poster, yeah, amazing. But, what can I say? This film is still popular now in many ways. People talk about it, and I look back, as I just mentioned at the beginning, seeing this everywhere you went, because you used to have all these film posters up on the lobby cards, and you would look at them, and of course the films weren't like nowadays. They stayed on for months, even some years. Yeah, you could get double bills. Sometimes you got a film that was solidly on, and then it was films that were other films that were changing as well. Fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. I just, it brings back so many memories, but there we are. And just before I go, look at this. This is the Blu-ray release. It's perhaps not the greatest in terms of extras. There's 2 interviews, but the 2 interviews on here are excellent. They are with Raquel Welch and Martine Beswick. And wow, they're really, really good interviews, and you learn a lot. And there you are. And Raquel Welch, she's a very attractive woman, right into her later years, and you can see that on here. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And that's it. Yes, if you haven't seen it, why not? You should have seen it. Yes. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and you get to know when I produce these videos, and hopefully you'll have a look and see what else I've done in the past. And if you like this one, please give it a like. It helps with algorithms, as they say, because then hopefully other people then might see and think, hey, I'll try that, and I'll probably won't. I don't know. But it all costs notes, so you can't see fairer than that, can they? Buy it, you can't. If you've got any comments, please put your comments down. So I love to, read your comments and I always answer them. Fantastic. I do. I really love your comments. And that's it. All I gotta say is, I'll see thee again.